Okay, I'm gonna film this scary movie video review. Let me see. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. My name is Nick. I'm a director living in Taiwan, and today I want to talk about the 2022 film Incantation, directed by Kevin Ko. So this is a found footage horror film, and it's made in a style of kind of these Japanese found footage horror films where the movie is structured like these found clips of footage that are strung together, kind of like a documentary that's been pieced together showing real events. So all of the camera is motivated as like someone's cell phone or a camera that someone's using to film something. The story of the film is about a group of YouTubers that travels to a mountain to kind of investigate this sort of secret special cult of people who believe in kind of a strange god, and they're trying to debunk this. But in debunking it, they realize that it's real. They're all cursed, and one of the women is cursed for a long period of time, and the movie follows her life as she tries to save her daughter and herself from this awful curse. The movie is extremely scary, and it is actually based on true events. So I'm going to call Sonia. Hi.
Hi.
So you told me that this story was based on true events. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I just watched some people saying that there's a story in Kaohsiung, and the whole family believe a code that we don't know, so they have their own god in their house. And then it's 6 people in their family, and one is living in Taipei, which is the older sister. And then one day the younger sister say she feels like the older sister might be danger there. So they call her back, and after she went back to the house and she start feel weird, and then feels like some gods living inside her, and the whole family start feel that way, and feels like everyone went crazy, like feel the god inside them.
Thanks.
So they start to like hating each other, like abusing each other because they think the other one is fake, maybe. And then so after a while, and the whole family decide they need to pick one people who's the fakest maybe. And so anyway, they picked the older sister and locked her somewhere and didn't give her any food or water. It's kind of like an offering thing.
Right.
And after maybe 7 days, then she died. And then the police find out. And then after police find out, they think the whole family have like a mental issues.
So yeah, that's really interesting because you can see a lot of the elements that happened in this true story were put into this movie. So there's lots of things that you talked about that will happen as parts of the movie. When we were watching this movie, you mentioned that you thought this movie was especially scary for Taiwanese people. Why do you think this movie is so scary to people from Taiwan?
In our life, from when we were little, we always been told that need to respect the God, and then just don't say bad things, don't do bad things, or you will get some bad influence. So when the movie just started, and then she asked us to do something, like saying the words with them, but sometimes saying the words bad because you don't know the words meaning. So just don't. If people ask you to say things, just don't say it.
Yeah.
Do think first.
It's kind of like a superstitious things in Taiwan where like you see things on the ground that's like religious, or you see people doing religious things, you shouldn't do that because you don't really know that could be some kind of bad thing, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. And then we feel like we will get revenge if we do something bad.
So people in Taiwan are pretty superstitious, right?
Yep, in Taiwan, superstitious. You can say that, but some people don't. But I won't say I'm really superstitious. But inside my heart, I already have a thought like I need to, if I believe the God, I need to show them my respect. I won't say things or do the things they don't want.
Right.
That kind of stuff. So Yeah, so this movie is kind of touch the heart that we believe, but we know that's fake, but we still feel it will bring us bad luck.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm watching a person doing that kind of shit and to a god. Oh, it's so weird. And then they say the video thing, if you watch a video, you might die. And that's the things we will believe it. So you remember like an old Japanese horror movie, there's one that you watch movie and would die.
Yeah, The Ring. So this movie has a lot of influence from Japanese horror movies. You can see in the film that there's influence from movies like The Ring. There's another movie called Cure that I can see a lot of influences from. So you can definitely tell that the director of this movie really loves kind of these Japanese horror movies. And the thing about those movies that I think makes them really scary is they play on your superstition and your feeling that, oh, this might be real and something bad might happen to me because I watched this movie. So that's kind of a really scary element to the movie. And I think one of the reasons why I found this movie to be super scary, and afterwards I had trouble sleeping. So I think this movie is a really scary movie, but I don't think it's necessarily that good of a movie. There's a lot of parts of the movie that bothered me. Like the idea that it's supposed to be a found footage movie was kind of annoying because of the way that they organized the footage made it a little bit confusing. They kept going back and forth in time, so it was kind of hard to follow sometimes. And then also, I felt like they had to always kind of think of reasons why somebody would be using a camera, and a lot of it felt pretty fake. Like there's one specific part of the movie where they're filming with their camera, and you know this is from their camera, but then it cuts to another angle of them doing the filming with the camera, and you think, what camera is that it's filming from? So that kind of stuff happens. And then also there's like music that the director added in, which I think it would be scarier sometimes if they didn't put music in and they stuck to the more documentary kind of style. One thing that I really, really hated about this movie, and it's a personal thing, is I have a phobia called tryptophobia. If you don't know what that is, don't Google it because it's disgusting. But basically it's a fear of holes altogether. I find that to be really disturbing and really disgusting, and I hate it. And this movie has that a lot, especially at the end. I had to close my eyes and I couldn't watch because I find it super disgusting. I'm itching now just thinking about it. And I just hate that they put that in this movie.
Yeah, because the director want every elements together that make people scared, and that's one part, like a bigger part. Like a lot of people scared the holes or a lot of like bugs, that kind of thing. So that's why she put in. But that's the thing I don't like either, because even though I'm not scary that part, I don't really have that, but it still not make sense that people will believe a God that who doesn't have a face. Yeah, so maybe there are some people that think, oh, that if more fierce, God will be more powerful. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But even though in India, I think they say the God is kind of like in India, they have a God is women and they have Kali. 4 hands, and then she eats baby, but she also needs babies.
Yeah, that's Kali. For me, the whole thing about the holes thing and using that to scare people, there's an interesting quote from the writer Stephen King where he talks about how there's different levels of fear, and like there's terror and there's fear, and then the lowest level of horror is grossing people out and making them feel something is disgusting. And so for me, that kind of using the holes is kind of the lowest, kind of easiest way to scare people, of just making them feel, oh, that's gross, I don't like the way that looks. And I don't really like horror like where it's just like, oh, I just make you feel something is disgusting and that's how I scare you. I think there's other ways, more complicated ways to scare people. And I think using something like superstition that this film does is much scarier than just saying, like, showing me something gross. I think that's kind of a cheap way to get me to feel scared. So I don't really like that he did that.
Yes, but he did a lot of things. Maybe I think he just wants to put everything.
Yeah.
So that's part of that. So they need to from base to the highest. They also do the highest. Like
that's true.
They give you your mental thinking,
yeah.
like the thing deep inside your heart.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, so that is our review of Incantation. Remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, And don't watch Incantation if you have tryptophobia. If you don't have tryptophobia and you really like movies that scare you, then check it out. See you next time.